Good morning and welcome to the show. My name is Sean Smith.
And my name is Prescott Phillips, and this is Brew City Bucktown.
Hello, welcome back to the show. How's it going today, Prescott?
It's going good. We're going to have a good show today.
Yeah, how's it going?
We're all fired up. It's a nighttime show.
Yeah, as you can see, it's all dark.
It's dark. It's late.
This is the first time we've recorded in here when it's been dark out.
Yes, right.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, after it's really going to be an after-hour show.
It's Brew City After Dark.
Brew City After Dark.
Yeah,
Sounds
some
weird. Swanky music.
No, we need some chicks in here if that's the case, because it's just three dudes. That's just weird.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow night.
What do we have going on?
Well, not this weekend, but next weekend we're going to Michigan Buggy Builders Swap Meet.
And by time this episode comes out, it'll already have happened. So we hope we saw you there.
Yeah. We got 4 spots, and we're going to be there in force. We might even do some recording there, huh?
My plan is to I'm trying to start this series. Hopefully it goes through. I want to start a little mini series called "What's Your Story?" And so when we go to these events, I just basically want to do like we're doing here today. I'm going to set up the camera, set up the microphones, and basically, if you're in the crowd and you want to come and sit down, have a chat with me, and tell me about your experience with Volkswagens, I'm going to try and put together something and put it out there. So
so we'll be there. This might come out. We'll have already been there.
Yes.
So if we saw you there, cool. Stop by, say hi. How's it go? Shake babies,
kissing babies and shaking.
Kissing hands and shaking babies.
All right, so that's enough of us lame talk. What do we have going on today? Who's on our show today?
Our show has got a special guest.
Of course,
the
they're all
president of the Milwaukee Collective of.
You are the president of the VW Collective of Milwaukee,
Of Milwaukee.
VW Collective of Milwaukee.
It should be of Wisconsin. Just saying.
All right. The VW Collective.
Nobody even lives in. Do you live in Milwaukee?
I live in Sherwood, technically. It depends on if you ask USPS or UPS.
So to do a proper intro, we have the president of the VW Collective of Milwaukee, Mr. Mark Cox.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
So now, if any of you guys have watched the program before, Mark was on our previous episode where we had the summer picnic. And he's also been in some of our little online stuff that we've posted videos of before. But Mark's already been on the show. He's kind of talked about the VW Collective, but we wanted to bring him back on to this show because it's Wisconsin. It's starting to get warmer here, and we are kicking off the car show season. So we kind of wanted to bring him back and see what's new with the VW Collective for this year. Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you introduce yourself, Mark?
Well, my name is Mark Cox. I'm the president of the VW Collective of Milwaukee. It's a newer club. You should check us out. We've always got something going on.
How new is it?
About a year. We started last year.
And how many members now?
1 million.
Somewhere around 1 million.
I know. Yeah. I'm an honorary member.
You're a legitimate member. You just haven't seen your official credentials.
I don't have any credentials.
Well, the gold leafing takes time.
I don't get a deal on anything. I don't even get a T-shirt.
Well, you got to buy the T-shirt.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're a newer club, but we hit the ground running for sure. We've got a lot of things going on all the time. The biggest thing right now, I would say, is that we finally, after months of back and forth, have our final approval, and we are an actual, official, registered nonprofit.
That is
so you're what's it called? A 501c3.
Yes.
501c3 nonprofit
so you're registered
organization
with the state of Wisconsin as a nonprofit.
Yeah, and actually, federal.
Federal.
Yeah, across coast to coast.
So what's the advantage of doing that? Besides, you get to write off everything.
Yeah, there's that. The biggest things really are how we can raise money and what we can do with it.
See, we were all part of this other organization that we won't name that claimed to have been a 501c3 in the past, and a lot of the donations, that was part of the issues.
They collected money.
They collected money. A lot of that money went somewhere, and we were told that it was being sent to charity, and there was always questions about that. Never got answered when it was challenged. Yeah, there were some fireworks.
Never saw a check.
I mean, we saw paperwork that could have obviously been manipulated, but we don't know. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping the money went to the correct place, but that was one of the biggest things when the new club started, was about pushing to become a legitimate 501c3, and
it was just one thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't the only reason.
I mean, yeah, there were many other reasons, but that was a big thing because, I mean, it has a sense of legitimacy. It's a really cool thing. I don't know of any other
very few automotive related clubs are actually registered with the state.
Yeah, and so that's actually one up on a lot of stuff.
Well, it's something that's important to us, not only to have all our paperwork filed, to be above board and transparent about what's going on, but also that's important because we are trying to raise money, because we do have some lofty goals, some things that we're trying to accomplish for the community at large, outside of even the VW community, but especially with the emphasis on VW lovers.
Seems to be a lot of those in the club.
yeah, there's a lot of VW lovers and a lot of lovers of VWs with a lot of VWs.
Well, the favorite thing I like about the club, the
VW Collective of Milwaukee, get it right.
The VW Collective of Milwaukee is the enthusiasm and the young blood. Young blood.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, I'm the oldest guy in the club, so.
Yeah, we're ambitious. We have some really talented and well-organized people that
Yes, the organization is
next level.
Yeah, next level.
We just want to be we want to be the face of the local VW community. We want to be recognized for what we're able to accomplish. We want to our biggest goal is that we want to start a museum. That's what.
Yes, it's a lofty goal, but you got to have goals.
Right. That's what we're working towards. That's what we have big interest in fundraising for. It's not to go on field trips. We're out here trying to.
You want people to come to your field trip.
Well, we want to educate people. We want to be a resource for people who need work done, need to learn how to do it themselves, are scrounging around for who's left that's willing to work on them. I mean, it's a classic story, but VW lovers, especially older VW lovers, have to be their own mechanics, and frankly, even the newer stuff, it's getting that way. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. That still holds true. So we want to be a resource, a collective of as much knowledge as we can gain. We don't all know everything, that's for sure. A lot of us just like to dive in and get in over our heads. We're willing to do that.
That's the thing. It's like you drive your Volkswagens to work, but most people don't. So they're not worried about it making it to work. We were just talking about those kind of things. Where you're driving your Volkswagen, it's breaking down on your way to work. Why are you driving this pile of junk to work? But that's what you do. But the one thing you guys mentioned the museum thing. I think you should start lower, and let's start with a Volkswagen junkyard.
Isn't that the same thing? Well, all I ever wanted was a yard full of old Volkswagen surrounding.
Is that what this museum is going to be? Just a bunch of cars out in the field?
We can dream.
Hey, I would visit. I'd actually pay to go in.
So as far as the museum, it's we haven't totally fleshed that out, but it
that's like your ultimate goal.
For the starting point is we need a physical space that we're able to get together, to work on projects, to meet for our meetings, etc. There's a need for that space, and we just want to be able to grow from there and do everything kind of all in one place, to be able to get together for our quarterly meetings, to be able to work on each other's projects, to be able to do our workshops that we do, to educate.
Hold on. Let me pause you there. That's actually one cool thing that I want to dive into a little bit more. Is you guys hold last year you guys did your first what'd you guys call it, the winterization class?
Yes.
And so
fall put away your junk class.
So basically, as a club, and you opened it up to non-members too if they wanted to pay for it. But basically, as a club, you brought in this guy here, and he basically, you went to this place, you had a vehicle up on a lift, and you walked the members through.
We found a guy who wrote a book and calls himself an expert to come out, and you may have heard of him. His name's Prescott, but he came out for us, and we had a good time. We put a car up on the lift, and we just went through putting a car away for the year, getting it ready to be tucked away for bed, both kind of long-term, well, shortish long-term and long-term storage.
So sometimes these short-term storage projects turn into years.
But the point I wanted to hit on is you're not just a club that goes to car shows. You're actually hosting events that, like you had mentioned earlier, there's with the problem in the Midwest, or that we're seeing in Wisconsin specifically, is a lot of places that used to work on Volkswagens are going out of business. And so the idea of fixing your vehicle kind of falls on the owner of the vehicle. And your club is having these classes with people who know how to do this, as the collective are coming together and teaching each other how to work on these vehicles.
Right.
And so that's actually a really cool point that I kind of wanted to hit on, because I don't know of any other clubs that are doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't even know of any clubs in general.
Well, most car clubs are kind of focused on shows, and there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, most of us in the club, our stuff isn't exactly top tier show level worthy, because we're driving it. And so, our emphasis isn't necessarily on some sort of concourse restoration. It's on keeping it going and staying.
Who has the nicest car in the club?
Who has the nicest car in the club? By what category?
From your perspective, from the president.
I do.
Hey, there you go. That's
perfect.
the best
Good
answer.
answer. My junk is the best junk.
Well, actually, not to like ham
bus
gravy. So he's got a Volkswagen. Oh, what year?
79.
1979 Volkswagen bus. He calls it ham gravy. It's actually a very clean Volkswagen. Tell us the story of ham gravy, because it's actually kind of a cool story.
Let's see. Is it a cool story? So I got ham gravy in 2011. Had it shipped from Coronado Island, which is San Diego area, where it spent its whole life. Bought it from the original owners, or family of the original owners.
You drive it back?
No, had it shipped. Bought it sight unseen on eBay. Which is pretty much the only way I've ever bought cars. I've literally never saw a car before I bought it in my life, actually. Had it shipped over.
And never got ripped off.
Luckily, it was pretty much it.
He's got some pretty good deals. I will talk about his Mazda off the program.
Luckily, it was pretty much as expected. It's been kicking around ever since.
What'd you have to do to it when he got it here?
Drive it, honestly. Really? I mean, it was good to go.
Got the OEM motor and everything?
It had been rebuilt, or at least I have paperwork for a motor that was rebuilt for a bus.
All right. So I don't know if you mentioned this. What year did you purchase this?
2011.
2011. And like how old were you in 2011, or what? You were in high school, or
oh Lord,
or were you out of high school?
I mean, I was out of high school. I was in my 20s.
Okay. I was just getting it like this. Was this like a prom car? A lot of people tell us, "Oh, we bought this and I drove this to prom." Or
it was kind of a group venture. My dad and I.
So you grew up in a Volkswagen family?
Ish. My dad's first car was a 77 Rabbit. And it was that boy, what's it actually called? But that like kind of chartreuse green kind of color. But not quite lime, but it was bright, but not all the way.
We'll find a picture and insert it right here.
Yeah, maybe. But
not the color of my bond, not that
color. No. All the pictures I've seen, I think my mom is like sitting on the hood. No, not really, but she's but anyway, that was his first car. He got that when he was 18, and he loved it. It was a good car for him. Once and his early family, once it rounded around 100,000 miles, he thought, well, this car is done for. So he sold it to a guy who drove it about half a block, turned back around and said, yeah, I'll take it. And then he realized that at 100,000 miles, a VW isn't actually ready to go. At least not that one. So anyway, so he had some favorable memories and also some laments at the repair shop with that car over the 10 plus years that he had it. But
and he shared those with you, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm gonna get me one of these. It was
the first year of the fuel injection, and yeah, he found out some of the costs for some of those related parts. But anyways, so
was that your first experience with Volkswagens, or was that before you were?
I'm getting there. So
I'm just trying to. It's only an hour show, but I'm trying to move you along.
Sorry, he sold that car.
Cut all that off.
He sold that car when I was just. I was in the picture, but I wasn't out of my mom yet. But anyway, so
you were conceived in that car.
Well, about 100 feet away. So when I have an older brother and sister, I also have a younger sister, but she doesn't really play into this right now. But when
shout out to the younger
well, she's great, but she's a different kind of car person. It's a rival, anyways. So when we were kind of coming of age, whatever, driving time, somehow, I don't even know. I was already into Volkswagens, but especially the buses, who isn't? But somehow, my sister, she's the oldest, she got into a 95 Jetta. That was Dad's doing. I had maybe a little bit of influence. So she drove that for a while. Then my brother got a 97 Jetta, so same body style. And then when my sister got tired of driving stick shift, my dad finally conceded, got her the exact same car in every way except it was automatic, and I got that 95 stick shift 2.0 Jetta, and I was hooked. I had that car for 7 years before somebody T-boned me.
Oh man! So what year would you say this was that you got this car? Was this your first car when you were 16?
I was 17, but yeah, This would have been 2003, 2002, maybe.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, that was what really started it all.
What got you into air-cooled Volkswagen?
What got me into
the ones that matter.
The cool part.
Yeah, if they're called air-cooled, emphasis on the cool.
There's a reason. I mean, like I said, It started with a love for buses before it was even attached to a VW. You know, it was just a super cool thing. I was totally into the vibe. I was into.
You saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High too many times.
No, I didn't see that until I was an adult. But no, I don't know.
Or what's the one with the little kid in a Daisy outfit? What was that movie?
What are you talking about, man? I don't know. What are you watching, man?
Well, my family
is edit this out.
Gilbert Grape or something. It was with
Johnny Depp.
DiCaprio? That's Gilbert.
Which one? What's eating Gilbert? DiCaprio? What's eating Gilbert Grape? And that's with Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp. And are you talking Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah. That's it.
That's a good one. Yeah. Very different than what you suggested.
Hey, I was in the same era, I think.
No, but no. Okay, all right. So
Little Miss Sunshine, yeah.
Right.
So that was your favorite movie?
No, I thought buses were cool, and then I don't know. I fell into the Volkswagen scene, I guess you could say. There's more to it than that. I actually had a previous first car that I blew up before I even got my driver's license. That was an 85 Jetta. That's a whole nother story I actually told.
I mean, if you listen to our previous episode where you were on, we heard your whole background story.
But as far as air cooled, I wanted a bus, and obviously that means air cooled, and I spent a long time afraid of it because it was different than anything I'd ever seen, and so I didn't adjust the valves myself for the first at least 10 years. Like I didn't want to do much of anything with that until I moved away. It fell into disrepair. I was in Florida. It was back home in Wisconsin. I was only coming back for like a week or less at a time, a year, and my dad was running it, occasionally driving it, but it developed a fuel leak, and then he stopped, and then it stopped running altogether. So undertook kind of a major mechanical renovation as far as the engine was concerned in that, and got it back on the road, and I've been driving it heavily ever since. I think I drove more in the last year than I drove it in the 10 prior, for sure.
No, it's funny because I remember we were with the old club and he was sitting at a table with his girlfriend and me and Mindy walked up to him and I just remember that was like the first time I met this guy and she was like, "You want to help us overthrow this club?" I'm like, "What are you talking about, Mindy?" I was like,
Mindy is always the instigator.
I'm like, "That's not how you like." No, we're not talking like. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Hey, you want to overthrow this?
She thought she needed a cool line to win me over. Something about my sunglasses had her nervous.
Well, it was really interesting because like you had been part of that club for a while before we had actually introduced ourselves or we started like
we had Mindy on at the
Mindy,
picnic, right?
Yeah, Mindy was our first female guest. So
that's right.
Shout out to her. But she was also on the same episode that Mark was on back at the Volkswagen picnic.
Yeah.
This was pre-recording, so we don't have video of it.
This is all old school.
It's old school.
Well, we were doing a remote anyways.
Yeah.
That was our first remote.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so no, it was cool meeting like the first time. It's funny just the first time how we met and kind of everything clicked. So.
Yeah, and I wasn't part of that club. Years ago I was, but
I was briefly. I spent my whole life being a solo car guy. Never had a car friend in my entire life. Like just my friends are artists and musicians.
And now you're the president of a club.
A car club. Imagine that.
It's weird. My sister became a car guy, and now here I am.
All right, so let me ask you the tough question. How many vehicles do you own now?
How many vehicles do I own? Vehicles or Volkswagens? I own 6 Volkswagens right now.
How many vehicles do you own? I want to get that number, and then we'll focus.
I think I own 2.
You sold the RV, right?
Yeah, I did sell the RV. Unfortunately, not to you.
He was coming down fast. He's $6,000 for it. I'm
just build me a motor, and you can have this.
I would have traded him a set of pistons. He wasn't in.
I almost ended up with Mark's RV. It was a nice RV.
Yeah, it was. It was
huge. Just too much RV. Yeah.
So how many vehicles do you have?
I think I own 8 right now.
8?
Yeah.
So that's it? Man, I'm disappointed.
Well, I sold one.
I thought your number was higher.
If we can bring in like 2-wheeled vehicles, we can bump it up.
How many Volkswagens have you owned in your life?
I think I only own 2 less than I've ever owned right now.
So I think
you never sell them.
10. No, they either get wrecked on with me.
So you own 8 vehicles right now.
Yes.
And how many are Volkswagens?
6.
6. Okay.
Yes.
So what are they?
Name
them all.
Stray.
Look at you. Put them. Name them all right now.
Name them all.
1, 2, 3, go. You got 30 seconds.
And you have mileage and everything. Mileage.
I try not to stray away from Volkswagens, but I do have a long commute, and I don't want to run up miles on a nice car. Plus, there are some things Volkswagens don't do. That includes a rear-wheel drive and pickup trucks. So, anyways, I have a 88 Jetta, I think. I have a 91 Jetta. I have a 2012 Jetta. I have a 79 bus, an 82 Westphalia project, and a 66 Squareback project. Don't tell my dad.
Shout out to your dad.
Shout out to your dad.
The podcast.
Don't worry, I'll bleep that part out. I will not. But
what is he, anti-Squareback?
He's anti me having so many cars, and I live in an apartment.
Yes. How many cars are parked at his house?
How many cars are at his house? None anymore.
Okay, well, see, you can't be mad about that.
Well, how can he be mad?
But I am taking up a car's worth of imprint in his yard with all the parts from a from a pop-up camper that I disassembled there.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
That was right before I got the Westphalia, and I was going to build out something, and I got all the pieces, and well, now I got cars that are filling up the storage, so I can't move them. So
that's
the Westphalia, man, that's a whole.
What year is the Westphalia?
82. It's a diesel.
Let's tell the whole story of Westphalia. I love this story.
What's the story?
So it's a Vanagon.
Yeah, Vanagon.
So 82 would be it's a diesel.
It's a diesel, yeah. They did a diesel for 2 years, and those things are not very common at all.
So Mark calls me up and says, "Hey, I'm going to buy this Westphalia. You want to come help me take a look at it?" I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "But it's up in where was
Duluth.
it? Duluth,
Minnesota.
Which is a 5-hour one-way drive for us.
6 hours.
6 hours. Oh yeah,
yeah,
easy.
right.
6 hours.
So I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it. So I'm like, you check this thing out. Like, it's good to go, right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, have you figured out a price? Well, no, I want to take a look at it first. But I mean, we kind of been talking back and forth, and
I was hoping he was willing to negotiate because I did not have all the money.
And it didn't run, right?
Well, I mean, that's a whole nother story.
Not in his yard.
Not in his yard.
So we drive the 6 hours, we get up there, and we come, like, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like in the country.
Well, it's
like,
Minnesota.
Yeah, but like
it was not in the city.
Yeah, there's the city of Duluth, and then like we were like in the outskirts, like on like country road.
Okay.
And so we come down this country road, and then like all of a sudden you get that, your first sight of it. You see
there
it,
it
and
is.
you're like, "Ba-da!" As soon as we see it, Mark's like, I don't want this. No, let's turn around and go.
I was terrified of it when I saw it.
Dude,
I definitely thought it was beter in pictures.
Yeah,
we
at least
drove
entertain
6 hours.
Yeah. You never know. It could have been filled with gold.
It was filled with something.
I was ready to blame Sean for talking me into this mess. I was ready to go home empty-handed.
And I'm like, dude, we just
Now,
drove.
did you roll up there with a trailer?
Oh,
Yeah.
So what?
It was
And
like,
you were just gonna turn around?
I mean, I would have said hello and goodbye.
Beefed and waved.
But I'm like talking, like I was like, I'm like, no, we gotta look at this thing. It's like we just drove 6 hours. It's like,
Yeah, you
let's
never
take
know.
a look at it.
You might
If you don't like it, we can still just turn around and drive
and
home.
You
like,
might
whatever.
go, lowball him, and he goes, "Yeah, okay." You never know.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of those. It's like, man, this thing's a wreck. I'm gonna offer this guy $100. It's like, I give you $100. He goes, really? Yeah, it's yours. And you're like, damn it.
I'm not that good at it, but I did okay. I got him off the price a good bit.
Like it was so it was parked
Within the amount of money you brought.
Within the amount of money I brought. I only had to hit up Sean for a couple hundy. Not really.
but it was by far the funniest haggle price game.
You told me the story. I don't remember the
so-
story. But
We're both really nice guys, and we didn't want to take advantage of the other one, all right?
So like what all right, he was asking 5 for it.
yes.
5, and I think Mark came in at 3.
Actually, I think it was 55, something like that.
And you
Okay.
like came in at like 3, and then he was like, no, I can't do that. And he was like, how about, he came down to like 5, and you're like, well, like how about 35? And then he came down to 4, and you're like, no, I can't do that. And then you were like 37.
Well, so we were getting closer and closer, and I'm like, well, let's meet. I don't remember what I suggested, like 3,600 or something, and I don't know, but he said he liked, I forget what
He was like, I
Oh,
like
he liked the
repetitive
numbers. I forget what it's called, and so he liked the sixes repeating, and so he got 36, 66, 66 for it.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
laughing, like they start going into this, and I just start like laughing my ass off because I'm like,
Who
this is
does
the
this?
funniest negotiation I've ever witnessed. And like it was because
There was supposed to be a couple of pounds of wild rice in the deal too that I never saw.
What's the wild rice for?
so the guy lived on this property, and he sold, like he made his own wild rice, and then so he hits us up, and he was like, do you guys want some wild rice?
He assured us this was not like the wild rice you buy at the gas station. And I told him, I have never bought wild rice at a gas station, but apparently that's a Minnesota thing.
It's a
I
Minnesota.
don't know.
Wow.
So he was like,
You sure it
so-
wasn't code for something?
No, it was, he said most wild rice is actually cultivated, not wild at all, and totally not legit. And what he cultivated, he was very in touch with nature, you would say. And he was legit all about cultivating real, or not cultivating, but harvesting real wild rice.
no, like so.
So there
No
is-
rice?
there is-
Hold on,
there
hold
is
on,
no
hold on,
rice?
hold on, hold on.
There is a stir that we got this.
So we're all right. So we get the all right. They make the deal on the price, and then so we're like, okay, we're gonna get this thing loaded up, and we're on a freeway, so like a
It is a
2-lane
pretty
country
busy
rural
highway, yeah.
highway,
Okay.
and we're on the side of the road with the trailer because we couldn't back into his driveway because it was on a hill and stuff.
Well, the car wouldn't roll, so we had to pull it out to the street so we could get a little help.
Yeah, that's right. We had to hook up a tow rope, and like he pulled it with his car, and then we got it going, broke loose, and then so we pushed it and we got it up on the trailer.
Okay.
And so as we're like, we get everything strapped down, and they go out to the front, and as we were doing all this, all of a sudden this girl
Counting out the money.
comes walking up, and just out of like politeness, or hey, how's it going? Oh, that was
That was a wrong choice.
She was like,
Started the whole
well,
thing.
me and my boyfriend just got into this fight and this and that, and like went on this big story about how she was like leaving her boyfriend and she was.
Well, it wasn't a boyfriend. It was someone she just met the night before, and he was like, he wouldn't let her leave. He like hit her or something. Wouldn't give her car keys. I don't even know.
And she was like, "Will you give me a ride to town?"
So I'm like, okay. I mean, she's a girl. Like we're a couple of guys. Like we could probably handle it, probably. But then all of a sudden, like. All of a sudden,
hold on. So then like she's on the phone like texting, and we're like, yeah. As soon as we get this, we'll give you a ride. That's fine. We'll just give you a ride to town. And I told her straight out, I was like, but if your boyfriend comes around, like we don't want to be part of this drama. Like, like you need to skedaddle and just get out of there. And like, and so we're sitting there, and she's on the phone, and all of a sudden, Mark and this guy were counting up the money to like do the money exchange, and all of a sudden you hear this shouting come from down the road. And she's like around the corner, like watching them count the money, and she's on her phone. I swear this was a setup. And so this guy starts screaming, and I look at her, I was like, you need to get out of here. I was like, like just go. And she's like, okay. And so she like takes off down the road, and then this guy comes.
Then he tries to stop us.
Yeah, and the guy who was selling the car was like, hey, let's take this back to my property and we'll finish the money exchange at the property. Okay. And so we're like, yeah, okay. So we start walking back to the property, and the guy's trying to stop us and talk to us about his girlfriend or this chick, and was like, we're just like, no, we don't want any part of this. And we just kind of like walked off. And then like, I'm just watching them because the car's parked up in front, and like, we're worried about like, I don't want him to try and mess with the car or whatever, or just the whole situation was sketchy.
All very odd.
And then Mark and this guy could not get the amount.
I was getting it right. I was not having a problem with the counting. To be fair, it was very windy, but like we counted through that money at least 4 times, and he was still coming up short. And I don't know if he was trying to get that extra 50 or 100, whatever it was, out of me or what. But like finally, after so many counts, finally he had the amount that I came up with every time.
And meanwhile, they're counting this money. This drama's going on out on the road, and I'm just like, holy shit.
It was weird. It was definitely distracting, if not intentional or like a setup. I'm not.
So it was well worth the money.
But that's
the entertainment.
That's the whole reason we didn't get the rice, because we had talked about the deal about buying rice.
You're like, adios.
Well, no, we were going to buy the rice after they exchanged the money. He was going to go back and get the rice, but after everything that had happened and all the money counting and stuff, like, we forgot about the rice.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it, too. I would have said, let's get out.
Well, we got in the car. The funny thing is,
I wouldn't even have strapped the bus down. I was just...
No, it was already strapped down. But we get in the car, and, like, Mark's driving. As we're pulling off, this dude tries to come up to the window and starts talking to us. We're like, nope, sorry, no, I see you. Yep. And we just took off. And that was the last we saw or heard of from anybody, I think.
Until we saw him on the news. No, not really.
But didn't he like say he was gonna mail out rice or something like that?
Yeah, so he asked for our addresses, and I gave them to him. And,
the guy that
but we never, no, not the other guy. So I thought we were gonna get some rice. My stir fry is still waiting on the stove. It's been over a year.
I'll bet you if you go up there and ask for some rice, he'd give you some.
Oh, I'm sure he would. But it's like $20 a pound. This wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't. It wasn't part of the deal.
This was good rice.
It was.
Yeah,
good rice.
It's the best rice.
It's the best rice.
It was better than the gas station rice.
Yeah, that gas station rice.
And the funny part, rice is not a code word for weed. Like, this was legitimate rice. Like,
yeah, gas station rice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that's the story of the Westfalia, and that is like by far one of the funniest.
Which you still own.
Which I still own. The rest of the story is it snowballed. I've taken it apart way more than I meant to. A lot of it's back together, but I don't know.
So you're gonna keep it diesel?
Yeah. I actually bought a bigger diesel for it. So I bought this.
Well, that's the trouble with them diesels. They're like 50 horsepower or something.
42 actually. Yeah, it's a little bit less in the Vanagon than in the Jetta for some reason. They figured they didn't need it. But yeah. So I actually bought a 1.9 European only motor. It's really the same as a 1.6. It's just bigger. It's not turbo, nothing complicated like that. And actually, I can put it in same exhausts and intake manifold, everything. I don't have to change anything.
So what else? Oh, we got to talk about the spring tune-up thing.
Oh yeah. So back to the club. The whole reason we're here. The whole reason we're talking about.
The reason we're here.
On a couple, like I had mentioned earlier, they're not just a club that goes to car shows. They also do stuff. And this spring, like obviously winter's ending here, and we are kicking off the car show season. And the first thing you guys have lined up is you have another class.
Yeah,
where
I got roped into.
Yeah, well, you had to because you took all our stuff apart in the fall, and now we need to know how to put it back together.
How do I get my car started again? You took
Who
everything
takes
off.
their rocker off?
Yeah, who takes rockers off?
So,
Idiots.
so like what's kind of nice and cool about the fall event, he showed them from like long-term storage, and some of you guys might not know this, but long-term storage, some people remove the rockers. That way they relieve the pressure off the valves and the springs and stuff like that.
It keeps water and stuff from getting totally into the engine.
And
in case it's out, the
if
roof
it's sitting
caves in
outside,
where
yep.
the thing's stored or whatever.
Yep.
And
So now he needs to teach them how to put the rockers back on, properly adjust the valves.
Are we still doing Bob's car?
I think so.
Okay.
Shout out to Bob. Bob's gonna get not a free oil change. I hope he's paying for something.
You're supplying the oil. That's part of the membership fee.
Driven racing oil.
Oh, they can sponsor the event. We better call Bill and tell him to cough up.
Contracting sponsorship.
I think Mindy bought a oil change kit from Driven.
Oh, nice.
I think that's what she was talking about.
Well, there you go.
So-
There's some
so anyway,
shameless plug for you, Driven.
Yeah. Bill Alexander, shout out.
Yeah.
So that's going to be on Saturday, April 12th. It's going to be at the barn in Caledonia. It's out by 7 Mile Fair. You can get more details from our events tab, but basically it's just going to go through waking it back up after storage.
Saturday,
April 12th.
Saturday, April 12th.
You just said
I'm
that.
hoping I'm busy.
I hope you're
You better
Actually,
have
I'm pretty sure you are busy.
yeah, you're busy teaching a class.
I at least know where you're eating lunch.
So is this open to the public?
It is open to the public. There is a fee, $50 for the general public, but if you become a member, it's free for you, and that includes lunch.
Yeah, so if you pay the $50, if you're not a member and you pay the $50 fee, that's not. I mean, you're getting like some leave behind. You're getting the knowledge, and you also you get lunch. You got to sit in the back of the bus.
You got to wear a special
special
banner.
helmet.
Yeah, not part of the clown.
Yeah, unpaid member.
Yeah.
No, we like you guys too. You're just members that haven't committed yet.
Well, and if you wanna try out the club, I don't know if I'm gonna even like these yahoos.
Yeah, see if you like our sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right. So they're gonna come to this what are we calling it? Spring tune-up?
Spring workshop.
Spring workshop. So I'm gonna change the oil and I'm gonna adjust the valves and we're gonna get the car running, but it's already gonna run, right?
No,
I mean, hopefully it runs.
They're gonna sasabotage it for you. That's part of the thing.
No,
is you need to figure out.
Put spark plugs in it.
Yep. Aha. No. Damn it. You already figured out the sabotage.
Yeah. So
they're gonna deflate one tire.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. I
Solve
won't know how to
that.
fix
Won't
that.
tell you which one.
Yeah, I won't tell you which one.
It's a mystery.
So, and it's April 12th at the barn.
At the barn, you get more details on our events tab on the page.
Yeah. You got to go to Facebook.
That's where all the good details are.
Kind of another cool thing about the club is you guys got a very active Facebook account where you post. I mean, last year when Mindy did it, like it was cool because it was the whole basically
year.
planned out all summer. Like you planned out all summer. I believe you've done this.
So this year we decided to pare it back a little bit, and in the process ended up with a busier summer. So we're looking forward to that. We are trying to emphasize more VW things and other clubs that kind of patronize us that we're building relationships with, instead of just your general Fleet Farm parking lot hot rod show.
I like that show.
You like that show because it's right here.
It is, and it was a good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. A lot of good stuff out there.
So what other events do you have going on?
What other events do we have going on? Oh man.
No. You go back to the Facebook page. You go to Facebook and then you go to the events tab. If you slide on over to the events.
If you click on Facebook, there's up top.
Have you heard of Facebook?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know how to use Facebook, if you click on it,
www./
So you go out.
You find what's the official name on Facebook? Is it VW?
VW Collective of Milwaukee. It's of Milwaukee because we want to leave it open for future franchising in other cities.
Right. Looks like.
So you go on there, and at the top there's an events tab, and if you click on the events tab, it'll have
just
everything.
A little bit underneath.
You got to scroll over to it.
Well, I'm sorry, in the middle of the page, and at the top of the page, but the middle of the page, there's all your tabs where they have the different things. For those of you that don't know how to use Facebook,
So if you check that out, though, we've got something constantly. I believe the whole summer schedule is on there.
What I was trying to hint at was this custard cruise.
So I was getting there. So
he distracted us.
Yeah. So well,
I'm trying to keep us on the rails here.
Yeah. What is the custard?
One thing that we kicked off last year is as kind of our signature event, or one of them is on Tuesdays we were doing custard cruises, where basically we would meet at different custard locations all over the Milwaukee area. It's kind of there are a lot of them. We like our custard, and it shows.
America's Dairyland.
Yeah, America's Dairyland.
That's what it says on our license plate.
Yeah. And so we have a lot of custard places. It's like ice cream, but it's a lot better if you haven't had it. It's a lot better. Way richer. You pretty much need to wash it down with a glass of whole milk. But anyway, so it's kind of an open house. Basically, we just meet for a 3-hour span. This year it's going to be 6 to 9, where we get together. Like I said, just meet up at a local custard joint and just kind of hang out, show off our cars, meet each other, get something to eat.
You've met new members at these.
Oh, tons. That's how we collect our cult following.
One of the cool thing is that you guys didn't just centralize around Milwaukee. You guys spread out last year. So
we wanted to go far and wide to all the corners. I mean, we take the Milwaukee area a little liberally.
You guys were out in Waukesha. You were down in Racine. You were north side, south side, Kenosha. Yeah. So I mean, it's opened up. It's not just for anybody watching this. It's not just the Milwaukee area. They come out. They spread it out pretty far when they.
I think we'll be up in West Bend, Cedarburg last year, and again.
No, there's people. No, there's a couple. We got a couple. We got Rob Bob. Rob Bob lives in Milwaukee.
No, he doesn't.
Shout out to Rob.
He lives in West Dallas.
I live
That's Milwaukee County.
No, I'm talking about city Milwaukee.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, see, that's why I started calling it Collective of Wisconsin.
Well, yeah,
we'll have to VW Collective of Milwaukee County. Does that sound better?
No, because we're not even in Milwaukee County.
I know,
now.
But there's a lot of people who are in Milwaukee County then.
We can't have the B's and the W's and the MCs all in one name. There's already one of them.
Yeah, it's getting too washed out.
So because most people call it the Collective.
Yes,
the Collective.
The Collective,
like it's a cult.
Yeah, we are.
We are, except for we don't do the whole sacrifice and all that. Like,
there's no midnight.
We're not going to make you sacrifice your money. Give it to the whole, but it'll be gone. It'll be gone.
It'll be gone one way or another.
And then, I mean, you guys also do some other cool events. You have your summer picnic, which is always a good time.
Summer picnic in July. Honestly, I'd have to look at the events tab myself because that has the best and most up-to-date information. So go on the events tab. But so for this year, for the custard cruise, we're kicking it off May 1st. Last year it was only on Tuesdays. Make sure you are aware. This year it's going to be both Tuesdays and Thursdays, just to open it up a little bit. Some people might have some scheduling conflicts.
Not in 1 week though. It'll be like a Thursday this week.
Every Tuesday and every Thursday.
I was like, man, that's a lot of custard. Yeah, that's dedication.
Last year was every other Tuesday the entire summer, but we slowed it down at 2 a month. Instead of every other week, we're doing 2 a month this year.
Isn't that the same thing? Wait, hold on. Okay,
instead of twice a month, we're gonna do it every other week.
When you say it like that, it sounds better.
Exactly.
So anyways, that's Thursday, May 1st. It's going to be at Oscars in West Dallas. And it's 6 to 9 p.m. Each of the custard cruise nights this year.
Now tell us about the punch card thing. Doing that again?
So we will have a punch card. If you show up, bring your punch card. We will punch it. It is not forgeable. It's not a regular punch.
They have a very special high-tech punch.
Special high-tech punch.
Yes. It's technological validity, and we will make sure that you were there. And if you were, and you were at a number of them, like we're talking, all of them are close to it. If you want to be competitive.
Now, how many members made all of them last year?
One. Well, two people made it to all of them, but one of them was Breeze, who is the host, so he wasn't. So he wasn't eligible. So Jimmy, I'll shout out Jimmy. He's a good guy. Goldfish Jimmy, he made it to all of them. He didn't bring Goldfish every time, but he was at every one. I missed one. Some of us have work to do, but
your dedication is horrible.
Yeah, second place is for losers.
I'll be honest though, we had prizes for first and second place for attendance, and second place was good enough. I'll be honest, it was close enough to first. I got some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, what was it? What did the winner get?
What are those?
With
the big head, bobblehead looking things.
I got a name for those things. Yeah, the dolls, the little action figures with the big head.
Yeah,
one of those. I got one of those custom for myself.
They custom made one.
Right, they made one look like Mark.
Yeah, does it have a mustache and everything?
Yeah, mustache and everything. It has my sunglasses.
The resemblance is eerie.
And Jimmy got one too. They're both they're marvelous.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Funko Pop.
Funko Pop. Yes. Funko Pop.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think my kid has a couple of them, but
yeah, some people collect them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at you got Hot Wheels everywhere.
Yeah, well, I collect things that
are
cool.
Yeah, those are so much cooler than Funko Pops.
I got a.
You got a Funko Pop?
No,
I'm just kidding.
It's not a Funko Pop.
All right, so one thing I was hinting also earlier is the picnic. Why don't you tell us about that? Like, what happens at your picnics? Is it just people get together and sing Kumbaya, or what's going on?
Yeah, basically, bring some wild rice.
Well, we have
the best
boiled
kind.
rice,
not the gas station wild rice.
It sucks.
Currently, it's our signature show, as well as just potluck dinner. We have some of the top chefs in the area, namely Jimmy, same Jimmy as before. Excellent meat maker, best I know. He's going to be providing the meat once again. It's good enough that sometimes Sean forced him to make dinner for him.
Mm-hmm. New Year's.
just out of the blue.
But this is more than a picnic. It turned it into a car show, and
so it's
you suck at telling the story. I'm trying to hint at this stuff.
I'm getting there.
We're impatient. Get to the good stuff.
Yeah. Tell us about the picnic already.
We want to know about the car show. Why is everybody yelling?
It's a drive-in picnic car show extravaganza. We have a lot of good food. It's also potluck, so you can bring something if you can want to.
Tell us about the raffle prizes.
I know.
There's raffles, 50-50 raffle.
Hold on.
Now Sean won a TV at that raffle.
Yeah, there's legit prizes.
A big screen TV, the first he's ever owned.
Yes, finally, I have a.
These aren't like hand-colored pictures or anything. This is real stuff that you might want. No,
it was really cool last year. I mean, like besides the car show, I mean, there were how many cars there? Like
a lot of
there were probably like 1,000 cars.
Yeah,
2,000 cars.
We had cars. You had cars. Trailered in.
Yeah.
We
legitimately had cars.
We had cars that didn't run there. We had one car there that was taped up for paint. Actually, it was completely newspapered and taped up, ready to spray.
Yeah, ready to spray. But we need to show it off first.
And that wasn't even a member, just a proud owner.
Right.
So you had a car show, which was cool. I mean, there was quite a few cars for like a summer picnic of a club that just started.
To be fair, a lot of them lived there, but no, we got a lot of people in from all over the place.
Yeah,
half of them were breezes.
And then then you also had the awesome raffle prizes. It was more than just like, I mean, you guys had a whole selection of stuff that you're raffling off, a ton of gift bags.
Oh yeah, car care stuff, toys, just all kinds of VW related stuff.
And there was two levels of raffles.
Yeah,
there was like separate tickets for the pricey stuff.
Yeah, they had a big dollar, high dollar.
Yeah, so you'd buy the raffle tickets, and then different things would cost different.
Did you guys do a 50-50 last year? I don't remember.
Yes, there was a 50-50 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you obviously had the dinner, but then also afterwards, you guys did a camp out.
Well, that was the plan. It got like a tornado, basically.
Tornado came through and kind of.
It went from like 60 and sunny to all of a sudden.
No, it was nice. Yeah, it was
hurricane and tornado at the same time.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember I drove home in that, and I was driving the 911 or the 914, and the wipers worked for shit. So it was very white knuckle, scary. Yeah.
Yeah, and didn't they lose power?
Oh yeah, not only lost power, but like flames shot out of one of the outlets.
They got hit by lightning, and
the lightning hit the ground and blew up.
But it came on so fast and sudden. There was a family cooking dinner over a campfire, and they had to just throw the skillet and just head for cover. It was wild. The wind was so strong it blew everyone's tent away. Like there was 3-4 people per tent trying to hold it back from the wind. It was wild.
Yeah. See.
It's good times. You guys.
So we always bring excitement. That's one thing that we guarantee.
It's always exciting. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's always going to be exciting.
And you don't have to partake in all that. I mean, you can come to the picnic.
We went. Yeah. As soon as the storm was coming, we left.
If you like VWs, you're welcome. I mean, if your car isn't running, if your whatever's going on, we don't care. Come out. If you don't have, if your oven quit working, we'll still feed you. Like we're not like I don't think I brought anything.
I didn't either.
No,
nobody wants anything.
I brought the party. I came to party.
We brought the podcast.
Yeah. That was our first on scene.
Yeah, I brought like 5 cars. It was like a week-long endeavor getting them there. So, I mean, some were already there,
but some of them were there.
Well, the Vatican. That's a whole nother story, but yeah. So what else? Any other big events that you guys have coming up this summer?
Well, yeah, I mean, constant events. Another new thing that we're doing is Tinker Tuesdays.
What the hell is Tinker Tuesdays?
So Tinker Tuesday is just going to be a loosely organized collection of. We're gonna meet at various people's garages or workshops, and
not here.
Starting at Prescott's, and but not when he's here. And no, it's gonna be like a revolving get together and work on something. Don't even know yet what it's gonna be. It depends on what's broken at the time, I guess.
So basically, like, is it gonna be organized, or it's gonna be like? I mean, not organized, but
organized as we can.
But is it like? Do you have the date set? You just don't have the time or location yet.
Yeah.
The date set. I mean, the location. Even the first one, I get to host to kick it all off. Because
you don't have to pull out. I mean, they can go on.
It's at your house.
It's out of my house at my workshop.
At your storage?
Yeah, it's in a storage facility. If anyone wants to come out and not have a place to go to the bathroom, I got it for you.
It's just like Prescott's house.
PNR, dude.
No, we're just gonna be going to wherever somebody's working on something. Have an idea of stuff that we want to work on, a little teaching, a little just camaraderie, hanging out. There's going to be some snacks. Get in as involved as you want, or just hold a flashlight or laugh at us or whatever you want.
I'm just going to show up and tell you you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
that's expected.
Yeah, nothing's set in stone yet as far as like whose house you're going to be at. So if you're a member and you're like, hey, can you guys come work on my car this week? Like that's open.
I believe only the first 2 are fleshed out so far.
Okay.
That's me, and then Jimmy, the vice president, is going to be hosting the second one.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, we don't know exactly what we'll be working on yet. I mean, honestly, a lot of it's just going to be hang out. You can come and meet us if you've never seen us before. And it's just part of our hands-on, wanting to teach, wanting to learn kind of experience.
That's really cool.
It's a big driving part of the club.
Yeah, it opens up the idea of the camaraderie of like people coming together and actually maybe even learning something that night, or maybe not. Maybe just stand around and bullshit and drink a beer.
Teach something, learn something. It's kind of an open format. We'll try and get something done, but we're not going to be like pulling out an engine or something.
I mean,
man,
come on. It's not that hard to pull an engine. I guarantee somebody's pulling an engine.
No, it's already going to be pulled. We're going to be putting it in.
I mean, that too. But no, that's cool. I mean, that's what I really appreciate about this club is like you guys are going above and beyond of just like a normal car club where you show up and go to car shows. And that's what sets you guys above.
Well, let me talk about that for just a second because it's something that I'm proud of. Not to toot our own horns.
No, toot your own damn horn. Damn it. That's why we're here, so you can toot that damn horn.
We had
it's your time to shine.
It's kind of hard to know when you start something where it's going to go, and so this was just an idea. The end of 2023, we officially started in 2024, and so a lot of it's just kind of been. You ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyways? Like we're just figuring this out. This is improv, but we do have some real goals and that in mind. But it's hard to know until you're actually doing it how it's actually going to pan out. is anybody going to show up? Does anybody else care? Is anybody out there? You know what I mean? So this our last meeting we just had a couple weeks ago, um, and getting ready for it. It's like, well, who's going to be here? Is it just going to be the same old faces? And I show up and there's 5 strangers. No, well, there's more than 5 strangers. 5 strangers signed up. People that hadn't contacted me. Didn't I think at least one of them like had talked to some other people before, but we showed up there and there were all these strangers excited about what we were doing, and not only just to check it out, but they were ready to sign up, and they did. We signed up 5 new members, and they're just chomping at the bit to get involved and see what we're all about, and that was it was awesome. It was awesome to see. It was really encouraging for one thing, but as a part of that, one of these new members, she has a 75 Westphalia, and it hasn't run in like more than 10 years since she paid somebody to do a tune-up and replace the batteries, and he took her money and some parts, and she never saw him again, and it's just been sitting there unused ever since, in her garage. And she's an older lady. I mean, she's still ready for adventure, but who does she turn to today in Milwaukee? There's very limited resources. And although we aren't mechanics, we're certainly not by trade. We have a little bit of experience, and we're also willing to try it out on your car. I'm kidding about that, but sort of.
So I was like, no, you're not.
a lot of YouTube videos will be involved.
But I've got last weekend was able to go out, kind of assess what was needed, what was missing, and I've got a box full of parts to get started on hopefully tomorrow, and see if that thing will get going. I have my own projects that are dusty, but that's more exciting. I don't know. It's when somebody just doesn't know where to start, doesn't have the resources that used to be available to undertake something like that. Where do you turn? And like I said, we're not professionals, we're not experts, but we have books. I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I love new parts.
And between the collective of the people that come to this, you guys can figure it out.
That's the point. We want to make sure that the knowledge doesn't die.
And the club has, like you said, it has books, it has tools,
right?
It has wealth of information.
And we want to grow not for our own purposes, but so that we can provide more service and do more for other people. We just love Volkswagens, whether it's ours or yours. We want to see them keep going on the road, and that's old or new. The old stuff kind of gets more attention. It's more noticeable in traffic for sure. But we have.
Somebody just posted on Facebook. He had a GTI or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
anybody, it's like, yeah.
You might think it's only the old stuff because that's kind of what you see a lot of. But honestly, I know that everyone that has something old also has something new, and although it may not be their primary fun vehicle, it's something that they're using regularly, that they're doing work on. And
don't get me wrong, there's multiple members that have water-cooled Volkswagens, newer stuff.
And honestly, it's kind of a throwback. Like those of us who are heavily involved with air-cooled right now, it's all started with water-cooled, and we're just kind of taking a step backwards, seeing where there's need and just kind of something different and what's interesting, and kind of filling that void.
See, we just like talking about the air-cooled stuff because that's kind of what we're into, but there's multiple, every genre.
I've owned plenty of water-cooled stuff.
And there's plenty of people in the club that have just water-cooled stuff. Not everybody owns
old and new. Yeah. I mean, you might say anything water-cooled's new, but I mean, 80s to today,
and I just wanted to express that this isn't just a Volkswagen club for air-cooled Volkswagens. You gotta get out, But yeah, all right. Well, on that note, where can people find the club? Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. Give us the information on the club again.
Well, go to Facebook, do a little search for VW Collective of Milwaukee. You'll see us there, and give us a follow. like I said earlier, all our events are on there, everything up to date. If we're going to be meeting up for a caravan to cruise into something together, which is what we typically do if we're able to, which is half or maybe more of the fun. Usually, anyways, we kind of just create our own parade, and show up in force.
Well, that way you get to park together.
Well, yeah, we get to we park together and we look like a cool gang.
Yeah.
And you're usually the last people to leave any show.
Yes.
Well, I'm the last person to get there, but
yeah.
Yeah, but everybody's got their setup, their campers all on, their tents up and.
Yeah, we not only close down Georgie Porgies on a regular basis, we actually we practically spend the night.
Yeah, there are many nights last year that we were there till after midnight, just chilling in the parking lot.
And we've had little fires, and we have fun.
Yeah. They leave the lights on for you.
They leave the lights on. They like it. They at first it made their workers nervous, but they
once they figured out
once they figured out we weren't doing any harm, it was just a bunch of weirdos. They let us be.
Yeah, the owner came out and was like, he's like, I remember you guys were there. You guys were there late, and he's like, but no problem.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We do appreciate it. It's great talking to you. It's great getting to hear about the new stuff at the club.
Yep,
it's awesome.
Absolutely.
There's always something going on. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right. So if you guys like anything you hear, you got some questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at bcbugtalk@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Facebook. We're on Brew City Bug Talk on Facebook. If you have any questions, YouTube is our big one. Obviously, this is going to be posted. You're probably watching this on YouTube or listening to it on anywhere podcast is.
Yep. And make sure you tell all your friends that this is where you find out about everything going on Volkswagen wise.
Yes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the show, leave a comment. We love the comments. I mean, I've talked to so many people. It's pretty awesome getting to know some of these people out there that actually listen to the show.
Absolutely.
So it's awesome finding new people. So thank you guys very much and have a good night.
Peace out.
Peace out.